Thomas and the old auto coaches. Thomas, the tank engine, had been working on the island of Soto for many years. He likes being very useful, helping other engines when they need him. But the one thing Thomas' favorite job is his branch line. And he has his two faithful coaches, Annie and Clarabel. Thomas liked his favorite coaches very much. They would often sing songs to each other and also tell jokes as they puffed along. But Thomas's coaches were old and would often need new paint. One morning, Thomas was stopped at the junction. He was talking with the top of hat when... Ow! Thomas was surprised. His crew and the top hat ran back to see what's going on. They looked inside Clarabel and saw that the shelf to the luggage was broken, causing the luggage to fall down and hit the floor. "My shelves," said Clarabel. "They all feel well old." Oh dear, that's very odd," says the top of hat. "Well, Thomas, I guess you gotta take Andy and Clarabel to the workshop as soon as you're done with your run." "Yes, sir," Thomas said. But he was worried about his two coaches. Once his run was finished, Edward arrived to take Annie and Clarabel to the works. "Hello, Thomas," said Edward. "I heard about what happened, but I'm going to the works anyway for a maintenance check. Sir Topham had told me to take Annie and Clarabel along with me, and he also told you that you gotta shunt trucks in the yard until he finds some coaches for you to take for your next run." Thomas looked back at Annie and Clarabel. "I'll miss you dearly," said Thomas. "You don't know how long I'm gonna miss you." Thomas uncoupled from Annie and Edward came around and coupled onto her. "Well, see you, Thomas." Annie and Clarabel gave Thomas a warm smile, and Thomas smiled back. When Thomas's shunting was done, it was his time for his next train. Thomas had to take the old coaches that Toby had been taking a long time ago. They were the same coaches that Toby had been taking them. Thomas remembered them, but he didn't want to say a word. "Not like that, you silly engine," said the first coach. Thomas was puzzled. "Edward is always coupled on to me softly. Yours came and bumped into me." "Well, I'll look ridiculous." But Thomas had no choice, and he had to go along with it anyway. He arrived at the junction, but was very late because the old coaches were holding him back along the journey, and the passengers whispered and giggled in sight. Thomas was red with embarrassment. Just then, Gordon arrived at the express. My, Thomas! What kind of coaches do you got here?" Thomas said nothing and wished his steam, and he puffed away. Soon, Thomas made his way through the countryside. He was going at his regular pace. But the old coaches didn't think so. "Slow down, you hooligan. Remember, you got passengers on board. This isn't the main line, you know." Thomas was very cross. He thought that these very old coaches were very bossy indeed. And he soon talked about it to Toby, Percy, and Rosie later that night. Those rude coaches are the rudest coaches that I ever had to deal with, Thomas said crossly. I miss Annie and Clarabel. I'm sure you're not just used to how we do things here, Percy said. And it took me a while to understand for sure. Thomas just huffed. Don't worry about a thing, Thomas, said Rosie. I'm sure Annie and Clarabel will be back to work tomorrow. Thanks, Rosie. And I hope these old coaches won't call me lazy engine. You're right about there, Thomas, said Toby, because I call those coaches lazy coaches. Oh, wait. That was so funny. And anyways, let's all get some sleep. We got a really busy day tomorrow. Right you are, Thomas. And all the engines went to sleep. The next morning, Thomas brought the coaches to Knapford Station to collect his passengers, where he saw Emily collecting her train. Good morning, Thomas, said Emily. How about I race to Great Waterton Station? You're on, Emily, said Thomas. But before Thomas could say anything else, the old coaches interrupted. Oh, no you don't, said the first old coach. We don't go racing around on old branch lines like this. I agree, said the second coach. We prefer this joining the sea and the sun, not fast and recklessness. Thomas had had enough. Fine, he said crossly. You take control then. The two old coaches twittered happily. They were going to show Thomas how they do it. And instead of Thomas pulling them, Thomas had to be in the middle. Thomas just soaked in the middle. Now this, said the first coach. This is how you do it. The two coaches were too busy showing Thomas of how they run the branch line that they didn't even pay attention to the track. As they came to the first switch and the curved track, this is how you do it, said the two coaches. Pay attention, Thomas said. This is how you do it. This is how you run the line, said the two coaches singing. Pay attention, Thomas said loudly. We shouldn't, said the coaches singing again. Pay attention! Thomas and the first coach felt a whole mighty joke. They had derailed on a switch. His crew came out to check the first coach. They checked and they have to see if the first coach had derailed. Oh, my wheels and buffers, said the first coach. Thomas just rolled his eyes and waited for help. And help soon arrived. The tow truck came and got the coach and Thomas back onto the track. And Thomas came around and coupled on to the coaches so that he could start the rest of the way. When the days were finished, Thomas shunted the old coaches into the carriage sidings. Well, I hope you two have learned your lesson, said Thomas. Yes, Thomas, we have. We are very sorry that we was rude to you, said the coaches. Just then, Edward arrived. Hello, Thomas, said Edward. I got a little surprise for you. Annie and Clarabel, you're back. Oh, how I've missed you too. Edward went to take the old coaches back to Knapford Yards, and Thomas stayed with Annie and Clarabel. Thomas told Annie and Clarabel the full story. Those coaches must have been a nightmare, said Annie. I agree, said Clarabel. They were actually, said Thomas. But now I'm really back with you two. And we're glad that we're back with you too, Thomas said to the two coaches. Thomas smiled his biggest smile. He was glad to be with Annie and Clarabel once again, and gonna be back to work tomorrow morning.
Thomas, Toby, and Percy are taking some children to their favorite place today. Some are going to the seaside. Some are going to a picnic in the forest. And some of them are going to the ice skating rink. The children have made special flags for their trips. Can you guess who's going where? Here's Thomas. Thomas's children have painted a picture of ice skates on their flag. Where do you think Thomas is taking them? To the seaside? No, you don't need ice skates at the seaside. How about the ice skating rink? Yes, the children in Thomas's car will definitely need ice skates. Now they have arrived at their favorite place, the ice skating rink. Here's Toby. Toby's children have painted a picture of a bucket and spade on their flag. Can you guess where Toby is taking them? Do you think he's going to a picnic in the forest? No, you don't take buckets and spades to the forest. What about the seaside? Yes, the children in Toby's car will need buckets and spades. Now they can build sandcastles at their favorite place, the seaside. Only Percy is left. His children have painted a picture of baskets full of food on their flag. Where do you think Percy is taking them? Could it be to a picnic in the forest? Yes! The children in Percy's car will need baskets full of food. Now they can have a picnic in their favorite place, the forest. Thomas, Toby, and Percy have taken the children to their favorite places. Well done, all of you!